welcome back to the Rangers Wire podcast. Today's date is Sunday the 16th of August and we're here to review Rangers' convincing 5-1 win over St Mirren. As usual, it's myself and Dex. Dex, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, Gary. Happy to be finally talking about a win.
Nah, it's long overdue, innit? So, 5-1 win, just an overview, Dex. Happy with that, obviously.
Yeah, massively. I thought obviously there was still defensive frailties, but to go and score 5 goals after a string of subpar performances is as good as you can get, really.
Aye, I mean, I did think it was going to be a win today. I thought it would be like more of a hard-fought contest, because if you look at St Mirren's start to the season, they've been really good attacking side, but I'd never seen 5-1. But just before getting into the game, Dex, the team lineup. So take away the result, right? As soon as that lineup came out, were you happy? Did McInnes get the lineup right?
So pretty much, yeah, the lineup is as I would have picked it. You've got Penrice coming in. I know he's just arrived, but who else do we play unless we're changing the system again? The only thing, and maybe I contested, was Nadiri up front himself, because I was actually really dying to see Shanklin there. I thought that was his time for him to shine, really. Which I mean, to be out injured, he can get a chance to be the lone striker, but Nadiri got his goal. He didn't do too much apart from that, but he done the running and he got his goal, so for a striker, you can't really complain too much. What was your thoughts on the lineup?
Yep, so obviously, I think the back four spoke for itself, or the back five, and I think we both spoke beforehand, and I don't think there was any surprises that it was going to be Sterling Fernandez, McCann and Penrice, even though Penrice just came in. The midfield was the one that surprised me. It was like a change of shape. I think we went with more of a midfield three, a 4-3-3. The big question for me was, were we going to look back on a negative result and say, well, that's what happens when you start with 3 holding midfielders? So looking at it, and I was thinking, is Dragojevic a whole midfielder, or can he get forward? So that was one I wasn't sure, but I know for a fact that Raskin and Chukwani were more holding midfielders. So I was a wee bit concerned, but then again, we don't exactly have any other options that can go forward at midfield, apart from potentially Asgard, which I'm not a big fan of. So I wouldn't say I was happy, but it was nothing that I would have changed because we don't have it at the club, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Going forward, yeah, I would not have started Nadiri. Actually, I don't like having Shanklin behind the striker, because I think when he was at Hearts, when he could get the ball, he could turn and have space. He gets the ball at Rangers and he turns and it's congested. And he can't really impact the game as he did last season for Hearts, for Rangers in that same position. So I would have loved to have seen the 4-3-3. I've been saying it all week, but I'd like to have seen Shanklin up front. So that was my 2 questions. 3 holding midfielders and Nadiri starting. But it clearly worked out good, clearly with the result. But we'll break it down. So here, the first half then, Dex. So I think in general we started very well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I thought it was positive. Some nice passages of play. We looked a better team going forward.
And one of the things that I noticed this week that we haven't been doing in previous matches was in the first minute there was a tactical foul Raskin on Phillips. And that's something, going back to the Jagiellonia game and even previous, we were conceding goals from counter-attacks. So I thought we need to add that. And that's something I thought McInnes would bring. Add that bit of like kind of, that mindset, that kind of tactical fouling, what you'd expect for a McInnes team, what you expect for any football player. So I liked that at the start. I thought, okay, that's something that I've seen that was kind of developed since previous results. Something we'll start to do better. And then, although I said we had a good start, I think St Mirren also were up for it. They didn't come to sit back. And in the 4th minute, they had a good attack down the left-hand side. And they were set up well. They were set up the same shape as us. And I thought they tried to get into the game. What did you think about St Mirren's setup?
I thought it was a decent setup. I thought they still caused us problems. And if I'm being honest, like the scoreline did surprise us. We blew them away the second half, but I thought the first half it was extremely back and forward. It's the same usual defensive problems with Rangers. Like that ball across the box looks so dangerous against us every time. It really concerns me. Something that needs to change going forward, because we're going to leak a lot of goals from that.
And two things that happened early. So the first 15 minutes is key to a game of football, as you agree. And I think in the 6th minute, Gassama, a lovely layoff to Nadiri. Nadiri just lovely sets it up on a plate for Dragojevic. It's probably a sign of his intentions in that game. Obviously, his goal later on. And he does well, but I think he probably could score. But he's got the goal in front of him, and he hits it wide. And then a minute later, I don't know if you remember that it wasn't really highlighted, but the push on Nico Raskin, he jumps up for a header, and it's a clear two-handed push. Now, I know Scottish football refs criticism a lot, but that for me was more of a penalty than the one we conceded last week. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. It's clear penalty for me.
I was quite surprised with that, but there was a few. I didn't think the referee was too bad, but we'll get to it. There was a few dodgy decisions I felt, as there always is in a Scottish game. And then we get the goal in the 8th minute. Starts with Nadiri starts to move actually. He wins a header in the middle of the park, and it's down to Gassama. Gassama, he's kind of weaving in, weaving out. He does well. I think he tries to get the shot away, and it just kind of bounces through to Nadiri. And my first reaction was I thought it was a handball, but it clearly hits off his thigh and it works away in. But that signs a good striker. Although I criticise him a lot, but I'll give him credit there.
Yeah, it was scrappy. I also thought it hit his hand, but when you see the replay, he's just kind of his hip, isn't it? He kind of hips it in. I don't think he'll be bothered whatever it hit as long as it went in.
Yeah, and then shortly after it, we talk about defensive frailties. The ball gets played back to Fernandes under no real pressure, and he decides to take one touch, two too many as he's been guilty for at times in Rangers' career. And the boy takes the ball, ultimately it leads to a corner, but that could have been a lot worse for us with his concentration.
Yeah, it's becoming a real problem. I was one of Fernandes' biggest fans last season as well. I thought he was different class. I don't know what it is. This, especially at the start of this season, he seems to just be completely switched off. He seems disinterested. I don't know if was expecting a move away and he feels let down. I don't know, but we're not seeing the best of Fernandes, and that's there for everybody to see.
Yeah, no, I think even last season, part of my, when I was like speaking about Fernandes, I know he's a good player, but what I really didn't like was he takes too much touches in the ball. Mm-hmm. He's too calm. I know sometimes it works for him. He's like a kind of Rolls Royce player. He likes to play that nice pass to the back, but sometimes more than it shouldn't, it doesn't happen. You know, and you can see that chance like that. But thankfully, we got up the park and we score. And I know we're only 2 games in, but a potential candidate for goal of the season, Dragojevic. What a strike, wasn't it?
It was a peach. He's took that chance so well. And you mentioned earlier about his earlier chance. I know he hit that wide, but I thought he was just trying to place that. See, for what I've seen so far this season from him, I like to think, I'm hoping he's going to get a few goals this season, because he seems to be really going for it attacking wise. Like, he's always looking for the shot. He's making the runs forward, and that goal was just the cherry in the cake. He got his reward. So
is he the answer to the goal scoring midfielder? I know it's early and it's only a goal, but
I mean, I'd like to hope so. It is far too early to say, but I'll cross my fingers and hope. But he took his goal brilliantly, and again, it's very early, but I really like the look of him. For me, he starts the next game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the exact same. I don't think you changed that team at all, and we'll get to that towards the end of the pod. But however, for all the good they done, not a few about 15 minutes later, Raskin passing the ball, he goes to return it. It's a loose pass. The St Mirren boy's on it, and he strikes it from outside. It's a lovely goal, to be fair, but something, maybe concentration, young boy. Yeah, what do you feel about that? Was that lack of concentration? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was just a slight lapse, and it just cost him. And what a finish! You won't get 2 better finishes in a half for a while. Both peaches, but it is what it is. I'm sure he'll be regretting it, but just a quick lapse of concentration. I'm sure we can forgive it.
Yeah, and I think credit to St Mirren as well. They made it a good game. I know it's 5-1, but they came to win the game. They were attacking. It was that first half was end to end. I felt we started stronger, but as the first half went on, from the 30th minute onwards, I felt that they were coming right into the game. They were getting better and better as time went on. I think half time came at a good time for us.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what, you're spot on? It was a good game. If you watch it as a neutral, yep, superb game. As a Rangers fan, I was thinking it's a bit annoying that St Mirren are giving us this good a game. I'd like to just blow them away early, but no, everything works like that. It was a good game, and I suppose we did end up blowing them away, so the best of both we got, really.
And bear in mind, that's a team that haven't conceded in the league. I know it's only 2 games, 2 wins. Confidence is high. The holders of the cup, so it's never easy to put the holders of the cup out. So I think the approach to it was brilliant by McInnes and Rangers.
Yeah, no, it's a good point you make. They are the holders of the cup. They'll go out there with intent, so at least we've dispatched them accordingly.
And just to end, so we're not discussing the first half too much, I think a few optics for the first half is Penrice straight onto set pieces. What do you think about Penrice's set pieces today?
I thought it's the best we've seen this season. I don't know if that's just how bad they've been this season, but I thought they were all pretty much bang on the money. We know Penrice has got good dead ball ability, so I'm not too surprised, but I'm happy with it. More of the same going forward.
So I'm very content with the delivery, but I think the movement in the box needs to be better. I think there's a lot of people standing still. There was some cracking deliveries for corners and free kicks from Penrice, but the movement I felt wasn't there.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was dying for somebody to be like hovering that back post area, and it was just missing. But yeah, we need a bit more movement going forward in that position.
And I think another optic we need to discuss is Gassama. For me, that's the best I've seen of Gassama in the Rangers t-shirt.
Well, I need to be honest, I know Gassama's a hot talking point for a long time, but I actually think he started not too bad under McInnes on that left. Mm-hmm. He's positive, he's going forward, he's got the confidence to take his man on. Maybe if I'm being critical, his decision making in the final third, but that is just wingers. That is wingers all over.
Yeah, and he hit the bar as well, didn't he? Cutting in for the left.
Yeah, I was screaming past the Penrice.
I know.
And nearly scored an absolute screamer.
I know. I mean, you can't fault him for that because it nearly comes out. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. If he's getting a strike at goal, I don't mind it.
That's the thing. As long as it's there or thereabouts, because we're always crying for people to shoot, and then when they miss, we're on their backs. But that was as close as you can get without it being a certain goal. So, yeah, I don't mind it either.
What I wouldn't like is if he'd done that and didn't get the space, get the shot away, and then turns back. That's when I wouldn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Which we've seen all too often in the past.
So the second half comes next, right, and you know St Mirren are going to come out firing. You know that because of the holds of the cup. They want to hold on to that cup with both hands, right? Shortly after, we make a sub at half time. Sorry, we bring Curtis on for Daisuke Yakoto. What was your thoughts on that sub?
I was a bit surprised by it, to be honest. I thought Daisuke was having a good half. There's something about him. He's so elegant in the ball. He doesn't go by players with just sheer pace. It's almost elegance and trickery. He just deceives the defender and goes by them. I thought he actually had more to contribute. I don't know if it's a fitness issue or if we're just trying to rotate to avoid injuries. I don't know, but I was surprised at it. But Curtis didn't do too bad when coming on, to be honest. What was your thoughts on the substitution?
So this might be unpopular here, and I know we're crying out for a bit of kind of flair on the wing, and he does have that, but he runs out of gas. He's absolutely shattered every time towards the end of the half. And another thing I don't really like about him, and again this might not be popular, and I'm mainly taking this for previous game against Jagiellonia, is he's easy to go down. He's quite lightweight.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I think we already knew that. We got told that when we read the fans' last team's reviews, basically, that he's lightweight and he'll go down. I mean, you look at the size of him, it's almost expected, but if he can just maybe adjust to the league a bit more, stay on his feet, I think he can contribute a lot to the team. So
I've said there we come into the second half, we make a sub, and you know that St Mirren are going to go for it, but actually, in the 52nd minute, Rangers finally score a counter-attack rather than concede it. Penrice assist, Gassama finish, brilliant. I feel it was a brilliant part in the play, and it was a very good finish for what was a very good performance for Gassama.
Yeah, it was cracking. It was good that Gassama got his goal, and for me, I'm very happy for Penrice that he got his assist in his first game.
And then just fast forward, it's just 2 minutes later, wasn't it? Penrice gets his goal, and I think that, for me, it was maybe Dragojevic was the best goal tonight, but in terms of play, I thought that was the best goal of the game. It was lovely one-touch passing, and I've got to credit Nadiri as well. Like Nadiri puts his body in the line, and it kind of hits off his knee into the path of Penrice, and Penrice scores his first goal as a Rangers player.
Yeah, it was cracking team play. It was the best to watch, passing-wise. And again, what a debut, an assist and a goal. Doesn't get much better than that. I did think it was going to be offside. I was waiting for the lines to get through, as I feel like every goal we score seems to go to VAR these days, but I'm happy for him that it eventually went through.
I was the same. I thought straight away. I didn't even cheer that. I thought that's offside.
Yeah.
Then you see the lines, you're like, okay, good finish. And then, so the midway through the second half, we make some subs. We bring Neil Shanklin, and quite surprisingly, McCausland comes on for Dragojevic, Nadiri and Gassama. The surprise there for me, clearly, like probably yourself, was McCausland coming on. But he never done too bad, did he?
I thought I'd seen the last of Ross McCausland, I'll be honest, and I was probably glad for it, but I mean, we're short on players. We want to avoid injury. At that moment in time, you can afford to bring on subs. And like you said, he never done too bad. He got his goal. He done okay. Fair play.
It's one of the ones. I don't know if be happy, and it's stupid to say this, I don't know if be happy or not about that, because
Yeah.
I feel like time's long overdue for McCausey to leave, and then he pops up and scores a goal just because we lack numbers.
It could be one of the ones that he's played himself into a place on the bench. I hope not.
Well done to him anyway. Well done to him. And actually, he hit the... So, in fact, there's another one in the 73rd minute with McCausland. It was lovely play. Chukwani does well. Drives for the middle of the park, gives it McCausland, puts it into Shankland, and Shankland hits the post.
Yes.
With kind of unorthodox. I don't know, what do you call it? Like a flick? He hits the post.
It was like a half-back heel, half-side of the foot flick. It would have been a cracking goal.
And I think maybe Shankland last season finished that, and then an even bigger one was an attack down the right-hand side a few minutes later. Lovely play down the right. I think it was Curtis. Curtis had a lot when he came on. He puts the ball in, and it's almost like Shankland stood flat-footed, and it just kind of hits off him. I think Shankland last season confident, and maybe even I don't know if because of World Cup, his time off was later in the team, so maybe lacking a bit of match sharpness, which McInnes did say there's a few people lacking match sharpness before the game. I don't know if maybe that was it, but I feel like Long Shankland of last season gets his foot sorted quickly and finishes it.
Yeah, it's definitely a confidence issue for me. I feel like Shankland, when he's hot, puts that away. The flick as well. With the Curtis chance, it was like he was almost just standing just slightly off. It was almost just a few inches ahead of the ball, and it just, I don't know if it bobbled through his legs, but yeah, he should really be scoring that. And a red hot Shankland does score that.
And then the last sub for Rangers was McCrory for Sterling. I say I'm surprised, but so we all know Sterling's fitness issues. So that's 2 games he's played, Thursday, Sunday. We've got another game Thursday. I think that's one to watch with him, minutes for him. I think that's maybe why that sub's happened. I think we'll probably see that a lot throughout the season, especially if we're going to be playing. Hopefully we're going to be playing Thursdays and Sundays.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that one.
I know. But I think, and overall, the second half, I thought we were the better team. They were very confident the second half as well. I don't know what McInnes says to them. Instilled a bit of belief. But they were zipping the ball about. There was one-touch passing. And it's exactly what you want to see for Rangers.
Yeah, the second half, exactly. We were playing with confidence. I think everybody would agree the second half of that game is the best we've played under McInnes. It was just good to watch. The short, sharp passing, the intent to go forward. It was what you want to see going forward under McInnes. And I hope we do see more of it.
And one last point before we kind of summarise here. The penalty. So, what was Fernandes thinking there?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me, do I think it's a penalty?
No, that was a stonewall penalty. And actually,
yeah,
if I'm being honest, I think that was a second yellow card.
Yeah, I need to agree. I'm very surprised because it's not as if he just get booked and then it was the penalty. There was fouls in between.
Exactly.
I think he's got away with it.
He's standing on his heels. The ball comes through and there's a bit of their strikers kicked in front of him a bit. And he could probably close that gap, but he stands still. He could then even just jock him, but he decides to jump in with his opposite foot. So knowing if he doesn't get that ball, it's a foul every day of the week. I think he was wanting a tight rope today.
Massively. There was just no need for the foul because, like you said, he could have jockeyed, but also at the pace of it, the touch he's took is going to be a heavy touch. You had Shankland covering, so Shankland's going to either intercept that or at least be involved in the defensive side of it. There's no need for the foul. It's laziness, and it's just what we've been seeing in Fernandes more often than not the past few games. He really needs to sort it out. So we got McAnya for a lack of options, and he's done okay. So what do we do if Fernandes keeps performing like this? We've not got the options to afford performances like that.
I think, depending, obviously, we've still got some time for the window to close, but I think at this stage, we're going to end up seeing Suter coming back in the squad at some point.
I wouldn't be against it. For how much I was saying sell him, I would not mind seeing Suter and McAnya, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully Fernandes turns it around.
I thought McAnya was okay again today. He was okay. He was decent.
He seems steady. He's not blew us away, but he's not a bad game, no any bomb scares. And for a centre back at Rangers, that's usually means you're doing okay.
Yeah, especially recently.
Yeah.
But overall, I think delighted confident, goals, different goal scorers, different types of goals, screamers, potential offsides, a lot of talking points, but in defensive rattles that are still clearly there, which McInnes knows. So I think we can only improve on that. The confidence will do them wonders. And then, obviously, the draw. You happy with the draw?
I need to be honest, that draw does concern me this early in the season.
I think it's game too soon.
I think it could be, if I'm being honest. And I hate to be a pessimist, Gary, but I would have rather avoided them this early. Hopefully we can get ourselves in order and maybe another performance like that. But I feel like this performance aside, obviously I hope we kick on from it, but performance aside, we've been terrible. And Celtic really seem like they're going from gear to gear now. So it is at Ibrox, anything can happen, and it's a cup game. But I'd be lying if I said I was positive about it at the moment.
And is that, just touch on Thursday's game here very briefly, is that your same starting 11? Is that the best starting 11 that Rangers have got right now?
I need to be honest, I'd still, despite Nadiri getting his goal, I still wouldn't be starting him. I'd still try Shanklin. And I know Shanklin's been off form, but I feel like when he clicks, he's just going to start banging them in. And Shanklin's supposed to be our captain. So if we don't play Shanklin or Neil, is Raskin captain again? How many captains are we going to see this season?
I know. I think Raskin was really good today.
It was good. We're touching on that and him being made captain. I think that's interesting. I wonder if that's an indication that he'll be staying.
Mm-hmm. Well, the interest has died down, hasn't it? No heard much.
Massively. I've heard nothing. Radio silence.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. After the day's performance, I thought playing as a 6, I thought he was good. He was winning challenges. He was doing fouls when he had to be done. He was trying to get forward. He was trying to pass the ball. He was speaking to players. But the problem with Nico Raskin is that's not every match. He's quite inconsistent with that level of performance.
Yeah, that's been his issue. He's full time at Rangers. I do like the look of him next to Dragojevic. I just wouldn't mind somebody a bit more creative with the two of them. I feel like Chotwani drifts in and out of games too much.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we see more of him, but I've not seen enough of Chotwani to be meriting starts every game for me.
I thought Chotwani was good the second half though.
It was a lot better the second half, but it was very quiet the first half,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, you just don't see enough of him.
I think the game was too quick end to end for him to influence it, the first half. But second half, I think we got more control.
Yeah.
And it allowed them to take more of a part in the game. But no, delighted. No injuries, 5 goals. Delighted we move on.
Yeah, there's not really many negatives for it. You score 5 goals throughout the next round, no injuries. I'd take that every day of the week.
So I think that's us. We'll wrap up for this week, Dex. We look forward to pre-match for Jablonak, I think you say it. Europa Conference qualifier at Ibrox on Thursday night.
Yeah, just a quick one. Who was your man of the match then?
Oh, forgot to speak of that. Oh, it's hands down at Penrice. I thought
Yeah.
you would get. And I tell you something, I know it's one game. I don't want to go ahead of myself because actually, someone texted me when Penrice was happening, and I know it's been going on for a long time. And at that point, because with the context of the season, I was like, I'm not going to get excited at a single player because 28 signings since last summer, and look where we're at. So I'm not getting excited until they do something to get me excited. After that performance today, I think it'll be very hard. If that's the level that he's going to play, I think people saying he's coming to push Romans not. I don't know how you take that out of the team.
No, I completely agree. I don't think you get many better debuts. He got a goal, he got an assist, but even apart from that, he seemed solid. He was very positive going forward. His passing was great. He's my starting left back as it stands. If Romans gets back from injury anytime soon, he needs to earn his place back in that team.
And I think the most important thing as well for his post-match is he speaks well. That seemed to be one of the measurements of success at Rangers in recent years, doesn't it?
But it's always a positive.
He speaks well.